Okay, let's be honest. Wanting a beautiful home without spending a small fortune does feel impossible sometimes. I know. But here's the truth. You don't need a big budget to have great style. You just need to know what to focus on, and that's what I'm sharing in today's video. As a designer over the years, I've learned how to make even the most budget-friendly spaces look high-end. So whether you're decorating your first home or you're refreshing your room on a tight budget, these tips will help you get a stylish, pulled-together look without overspending. And to make it even easier, I've put together the Design Fix Answer Guide. It's a free guide that answers the top 10 interior design dilemmas that I hear all the time. You can grab it at the link below in the description. It's gonna help you out, I promise. All right, now I want you to think first about your layout. This is first and foremost something that you can change without spending a dime. It is totally free to rearrange your living room furniture, and it might change everything. Balance, symmetry, and function matter. So I want you to take this test. When you walk into a space, I want you to actually assess how it feels and how it functions. And if it doesn't feel good and if it doesn't function well, change things around. Move your furniture around a little bit and just see what an impact it can make. Sometimes we get stuck seeing something one way, but when we change things up just a little bit, we realize, oh my gosh, how did I live with it the way it was before? This is no cost decorating. It can make a huge impact in your home. Okay, the next is I want you to develop a signature color palette. I want you to keep it simple with like 2 to 3 main colors and maybe 1 to 2 accent colors. And these colors are going to be realized through your paints throughout your home, through your furnishings, through your decorative accessories. Having consistency and harmony throughout your home with a color palette just makes everything feel more cohesive. Like, that's just the reality. So if you're a little bit thoughtful from the beginning, thinking through your color combinations and how you're going to layer those in each room, you're going to create consistency through your home, and you're going to make it feel, honestly, so much more elevated. Okay, this is an easy one, but I feel like it's one that we forget. I want you to edit before you add. Remember, decluttering is free and it is powerful. Think about it this way: less, but better. More style, less chaos. I want you to style with intention and think about using what you already have. I feel like so many times we get stuck in this rut of looking around us and maybe being dissatisfied with what we already own because we're used to seeing it in a certain light, in a certain vignette, in a certain room, whatever. But oftentimes when we declutter a space, when we kind of corral all of our options together and look at them with fresh eyes, we realize that things that we already own are beautiful. They just needed to be placed in a different room or way. So think about maybe taking a day, decluttering one room. You can start with one room. You don't have to be overwhelmed and do this to your entire home, but just start with one room, declutter, look at what you have, maybe go shop some other rooms in your home and rearrange and see how it makes the room and space feel. I think you'll be surprised that you already own things that you love and that you can make them look even better. Okay, on to probably one of my very favorite ones, and this is to add personality to your home with vintage or thrifted finds. Oh my gosh, this is the best way to add character and charm on a dime. I want you to think about the pieces that maybe you already own that you really love that are vintage. And why? Why do you love them? Because they're unique and different and they're not mainstream, and maybe they have a really cool patina or a shape or a unique glaze or whatever it is. Those quirky items, first of all, are usually super affordable, and they just add individuality to your home that you really can't get if you go to a big box store. So think about blending the old with maybe some of the new pieces that you have in your home, juxtaposing those two different things and creating tension in your vignettes and in your spaces. and lean into decorating with vintage and antique treasures. They just honestly, in my opinion, give you the most bang for your buck in your home. Okay, on to one of the tips that I think makes a really big impact in a room and in a home, and that is to use artwork in interesting ways. I feel like this is like the designer's secret sauce, because a lot of times when we have a piece of art, we hang it on a wall and like we're done with it. But grouping artwork in interesting layouts like a grid or a gallery wall or a vertical stack or even like a horizontal layout down a hallway, that repetition and grouping of artwork creates an entire statement. It creates a focal point in a room. So I want you to think about that when you're hanging your artwork, and think like, put your little designer hat on and think, okay, how would an interior designer approach this? Does this one piece of artwork on this very large wall kind of get lost? And what could I do to add other pieces in, group things together, make a very unique arrangement, and have a lot of visual interest on the wall? I also want you to think about maybe some alternative art solutions like a wall mural, like the one I have behind me. I have this big, beautiful wall mural right here. It's huge. I think it's like, honestly, maybe 12 by 8 feet. And I created it from panels of wallpaper and made a large wall mural out of it. And it filled that entire massive wall in my home for honestly, not much money. I think the whole thing cost me like $400. I mean, can you imagine? That's a huge piece of art. So think outside of the box when you're thinking about art installations in your home. It could be a tapestry. Honestly, I've seen a beautiful flat weave rug hung on a wall. You could do like something textural. Just don't get stuck in the fact that you have to have a painting and it has to be in a frame. You could do a wall sculpture. There's just lots of different options. So think outside of the box when you are thinking about your art. Remember, art can change the whole personality of a space. It's really the best way, in my opinion, to inject color into a room and to make your home feel uniquely personal to you. So the next thing is so easy, and it's 100% free, and that is to style with natural elements. I love to add warmth and texture to a room with branches or flowers or stems clipped from my garden. It just injects so much life and personality and texture and color into a space. And you can do this literally any time of the year. Obviously, spring and summer are, wonderful for bringing cut flowers into your home from the garden. But I think just as equally beautiful is a really sculptural branch brought in the wintertime. It's like you're honoring the seasons that are going on outside of your home, and you're inviting nature into your space. There's just really nothing more beautiful than that, in my opinion. This is a really budget-friendly way to make a huge impact in your space with not much time and absolutely, literally zero money. So I want you to try that one out. Okay, now let's talk about paint. I know paint sometimes can feel intimidating because we feel like, oh my gosh, we're gonna paint. It's like such a big decision and it's final. Well, it's not final. I mean, a gallon of paint is literally the most budget-friendly makeover ever. You can change an entire room. Let's just visualize for a second. Like if you have a white room and you're really wanting to go bold and you're like, I want this room to be sexy and cozy and intimate, and you paint the entire room like a really deep green, that is such a huge change. Like you've changed the entire feeling of a space by putting color on the walls, and maybe you spent like $40 or $50. So think about paint strategically. And I want you to also think about it like beyond just your walls. You don't have to just paint walls. You can paint furniture. You can paint the trim in your home, your doors. There's honestly your floors if you wanted to. There's a lot of different ways to use paint to really change the look and feel of your space, inject a ton of personality, and make a really big impact. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is styling your surfaces like a designer. So I think this can be intimidating because a lot of times it's like we're not exactly sure what looks good together or what works, or should we use sets of, should we use 3s, should we use 5s, should we use a pair of something? It's like we get caught up in the technicality of styling, but really styling is about your personality and what you think looks good. It's your house. So I feel like one of the greatest ways to flex your design muscles and expand your creativity is practicing styling your surfaces in your home. Think about layering. Think about adding visual height and tension with material mixes. Add in, personalized pieces that mean something to you so that when you look at the cocktail table in your family room that you literally see 1,000 times a day, it brings you joy and it actually is a reflection of your own style and what you like. Styling, I see so many houses that are really beautiful. They have beautiful bones, beautiful colors palette, maybe great material mixes, great architecture, but they kind of fall short when it comes to styling and personality and interest. Styling goes a long way. This you can practice, you can get good at, you can make some little vignettes that add so much interest to your rooms. Okay, the next one is lighting. Now, sometimes we have to buy new lighting pieces because we move into a house and it's got all builder grade lighting, or the lighting is like old and outdated. We just have to buy new lighting, lamps or ceiling fixtures, whatever it is. But a lot of times what I've realized is moving a lamp from one room to another room, or from one piece of furniture to another piece of furniture, really makes it feel totally different. And pro tip here, oh my goodness, adding a great lampshade to a lamp base you already have, that is a total game changer. If you're gonna make, if you can't go out and buy new lamps or even new sconces, buy a new lampshade. Find a new lampshade. Oftentimes, some of my very favorite lampshades that I find are actually vintage lampshades that I find at a resale store or even like on Etsy or something like that. Lampshades can make a huge difference in how a lamp base looks and how the light feels when it is turned on. The way a lampshade diffuses light really adds a lot of ambiance to a room. And if you've got a super cold white shade that maybe goes a little bit towards the cooler side and you change that shade out for a really beautiful warm, even if you want to keep it white, it could be a creamy linen. What's going to happen is the light, when that lamp is turned on, is going to feel so much more inviting and warm. So think about your lighting. Think about switching things up within your house if you don't want to go out and buy anything new, and maybe grab yourself a new lampshade and see how it makes that old lamp feel. You will be surprised. It'll make a big difference. Okay, there's one more thing I've got to say about lighting before we move on, and that is that I really want you to be mindful of creating lighting layers in your home, okay? So what this means is you've got lighting on your ceiling. Maybe it's recessed cans or chandeliers or pendants or even flush mounts. And you've got lighting, of course, on your furniture with your lamps and maybe even floor lamps. A lot of homes miss the middle lighting layers, which is like sconces. Or picture lights, like art lights. Yes, a lot of times those are in bathrooms, but what I see more often than not is those are not included in other rooms in our homes, especially in like builder spec homes. I actually just walked through a builder spec home with a new client. We're kind of getting in, they just decided to buy this home. We're getting in at sheetrock. So a lot of the layout has been done, all of the electrical has been done. And when I was walking through the home, I realized there was not a single mid-level fixture in the entire home except for in the bathrooms, meaning there are literally no sconces, no art lights, nothing. And what happens is that we get lighting from up here and lighting from down here, and we get nothing in the middle. And that's where really the ambiance is created in our spaces, especially in the evenings. So I want you to think about that, and think about maybe adding in that middle lighting layer into your rooms. It's gonna make a really big difference. It's gonna make your rooms feel a lot more welcoming, especially in the evenings. Okay, this one's easy. Upgrade your textiles. This is like swapping out pillows and throws, maybe adding in drapery panels or cafe curtains. And if you don't want to go all out, literally just get some new pillow covers. I use the same inserts season after season, year after year, and I just get new pillow covers, which is like the actual fabric, cover that you put the pillow insert in. Those are really affordable and can change the way a sofa looks. Like, think about it this way. If you have a very neutral sofa and maybe in the winter you've got this gorgeous like chocolate brown velvet pillows on the sofa. That's what I have on my sofa in the winter. And then in the summer you switch that out for a really beautiful light blue linen. Whoa, that just changed the whole feel of the sofa. So that is a budget tip that I think can make a really big impact. Also, when you're upgrading your textiles, think about textures. A lot of times we get stuck in just normal linen or cotton, but there's so many other textures out there that can add interest to your space. So look for velvets, look for boucles, look for maybe even like a leather or suede. Just think about how you can mix textures and colors in your textiles to bring a lot of interest to your space for very few dollars. Okay, so I hope this video has helped you realize that you don't need a big, huge designer budget to get a designer look. A few smart choices and some strategic creativity can go a long way. Now, I have something that I have been sort of hinting at for the last few weeks. I have a little secret that my team and I have been working on for months, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I think actually, trying to think, this week, it's going to happen this week. So I would love for you to get on my secret list at the link below the video so you can be the first to hear about it. Also, if you need a little bit more guidance on how to style your surfaces and how to decorate your spaces to get that designer look that we've been talking about, I want you to meet me in this next video and I'm going to show you exactly how.